creating a personal philosophy that guides decisions. Every morning, before the world speaks to you, before notifications vibrate your pocket, before opinions rush in like weather, there is a quiet moment. In that moment, whether you notice it or not, you are already making a decision. What to believe, what to tolerate, what to chase, what to walk away from. Most people call this instinct. But instinct isn't random. It's trained. And what trains it is philosophy. Not the kind written in old books or carved into stone, but the kind written in your choices, repeated, daily, unnoticed. Because here's the truth no one tells you. If you don't choose a personal philosophy, you will inherit one. From culture, from fear, from the loudest voice in the room, from whatever worked once and never got questioned again. And that's how people end up living lives they never consciously agreed to. A personal philosophy is not a set of rules. It's a compass. Rules break under pressure. Compasses don't. When everything feels unclear, your philosophy answers one simple question. What kind of person am I choosing to be right now? Not someday. Not after things improve. Now. Picture this. You're standing at a crossroads. One path is familiar, comfortable, approved. The other is uncertain, quiet, slightly terrifying. Logic alone won't choose for you. Emotion won't either. This is where philosophy steps in. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It reminds. I value growth over comfort. One choose honesty over. A personal philosophy begins with noticing patterns. Not what you say you believe, but what you repeatedly do when no one is watching. What do you defend instantly? What do you regret slowly? What drains you every time, yet you keep returning? These are clues. Your life has been leaving breadcrumbs all along. Philosophy is simply picking them up and arranging them into meaning. Then comes the hardest part. Choosing principles that will cost you something. Anyone can believe in kindness when it's convenient. Anyone can value truth when it's safe. Anyone can preach boundaries until they're tested. A real philosophy is forged where it hurts. It asks questions like, what will I protect even if I lose something? What will I refuse even if it delays me? What kind of regret am I willing to live with? Because every decision creates loss. Philosophy just helps you choose which loss you can respect. And no, your philosophy doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be yours. It can evolve. It should evolve. But it must be conscious. Otherwise, life will keep deciding for you, while you wonder why everything feels misaligned. When you live by a personal philosophy, you stop outsourcing your direction. You don't need constant validation. You don't need endless advice. You don't panic every time the path isn't obvious. You pause. You check your compass. You move. Not because it's guaranteed to work, but because it aligns. And alignment does something powerful. It builds self-trust. The kind that says, even if this fails, I won't lose myself. Even if this costs me, I'll recognize who I became. Even if I'm misunderstood and not confused. That's freedom most people never taste. So if you're searching for direction, don't ask the world what to do. Ask yourself, what do I stand for when no one is clapping? What do I return to when everything collapses? What version of me do I refuse to betray? Write those answers down. Lift them imperfectly. Revise them honestly. Because clarity doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from knowing what you'll use to decide. And once you have that, every choice becomes a statement. Every step becomes intentional. And your life stops feeling like a reaction and starts feeling like a direction.